what is the toughest opponent a footballer can face? It's not the other team. It's not even the high stakes of a penalty shootout. It's actually the battle waged in a footballer's mind. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Alan Derriard. I'm a full-time football agent and the owner of Australia's largest player agency, Elite Football. I've got over 7 years of agent experience, and our football agency works with over 25 professional clubs in Europe alone. So we have the largest roster of professional clubs in Australia. I've witnessed firsthand the raw, unedited versions of what it takes to withstand this game mentally. So in order for you to survive and thrive in this game, today we're unpacking the essence of mental health and resilience in football. This is tailored for my Aussie players braving trials overseas. In the world of football, the biggest battle often isn't on the pitch. It's in your head. Half the players I work with struggle with this. Going pro isn't just about skill, it's actually a mental game that most people underestimate. And if you've never gone overseas to trial or even just train with a professional team, you probably wouldn't get it. It's easy to focus on the glam life of the top 1% of players, but for the other 99%, it is a much different game. I've been there myself. I know the rush of what it's like to chase your dream, feeling on top of the world when you're playing well, but I'm also no stranger to the dark thoughts you have when you're alone in a small, tiny apartment, in a new country where it's just you and your thoughts. It's been over a decade since I was trying to go professional, and those first few nights, I still remember them as if they were yesterday. They were tough, and there was plenty of tears. But here's the thing, talking about this isn't about feeling sorry for myself or other players. It's to show you that if you're feeling this way, you're not alone. It is rough at first, but it does get better. And unfortunately, it's all part of the journey of making it as a professional. It makes you stronger, not just as a player, but as a person. Picture this, a young Aussie talent, 16-year-old, let's call him Jake. Jake has plenty of skill, he's landed in Spain for his first trial. Amidst the excitement, a wave of isolation hits him. Far from Australian beaches, Jake is now facing the silence of his small apartment, the barrier of a different language, and the weight of expectation. Next up, let's meet Mia, 19, a goalkeeper with reflexes like a cat. She's stepping into a new team in the European stage where every save is scrutinized and every mistake is magnified. The pressure mounts not just from the game, but from the daunting task of living up to her contract. Now, how do our heroes Jake and Mia build resilience? Well, it starts with the acceptance that failures are not setbacks, but lessons. They embed routines, daily calls with family, start to get immersed in the local culture, and take on any advice for mental conditioning with their coaches or agents. They learn to celebrate small victories, understanding that resilience is not built overnight. If you're a young gun like Jake, support systems are vital. It's about creating a family within the team, finding mentors and staying connected with home and having fun, enjoying every little bit. For those in Mia's age bracket, a bit older, it's going to be about self-reliance, mastering the mental game through self-discovery and leaning into the experience. Fully aware that this journey shapes not only the player, but the person. In the end, the journey of an Aussie footballer overseas is much more than physical. It is actually a testament to the power of mental health and resilience. Jake, Mia, and countless others remind us that while football is played on the pitch, it is won in the mind. When I first kicked off my football journey overseas, I honestly thought I was ready for anything. I convinced myself that I was mentally stronger than most. But those initial 2 months, they were a reality check. It was anything but easy. It was a grind. It was tough, physically and mentally, and it tests you. It changes you at your core, and I don't regret it. I think everything happens for a reason, and I believe the ballers that go through it are better people, and you grow. You grow very fast, and you learn a lot about yourself. And I would argue that players that go overseas and they put themselves through these situations find stuff out about themselves that people go their whole lives without discovering. But here's what kept me going. What kept my feet moving even when everything else wanted me to stop. Every day I woke up with a clear picture in my mind of why I was there. It wasn't just about football. It was about my family, about my parents being able to look up and say, that's our son. That was what personally drove me. And then there was the hunt for joy, the mission to find something fun in every corner of the experience, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, whether it was a joke shared between teammates or the satisfaction of nailing a difficult drill, or just the simple pleasure of a meal that reminded me of home. I looked for those moments. We used to stop at a local corner store after trainings, and we didn't really like the food that was being put on by our residencies. It's something that happens with a lot of players. And we would try and fill up on something else. And usually we would share some bread and a bottle of soft drink, something as simple as cheap bread and a bottle of Fanta shared between a few guys were my personal lifeline. When you get pushed away from your routine, your home, your friends, your family, you need to learn to appreciate little moments. It's usually stuff that you would have never appreciated when you're home. That cheap bread and that Fanta that we would share after getting off the train station, walking to where we were staying at, sharing those jokes. I don't even think I realized how much that helped me wake up every day. I think the challenge, especially when you're far from home and trying out for teams, is that feeling of not being in control. It's like you're just along for the ride, and that uncertainty can really mess with your head and in turn your game. But here's something I learned. Football, just like life, is full of changes. It throws curveballs, and a huge part of getting over those curveballs is to adapt and roll with the changes. Understanding that embracing it and letting go of the need to control everything, that's not just half the battle, it's the entire battle. So to anyone out there stepping into this journey, remember it's tough, no doubt about it. But finding your why and holding on to the little joys and learning to ride the waves of change, that's how you not only survive, but that's how you thrive in this beautiful game. The beauty of letting go of control.